I got my family's memorial tattoo, then my great-grandmother found someone else's initials hidden in it. This tattoo wasn't some spontaneous decision I made scrolling through flash art at 2 in the morning. It meant something. My grandfather had it. Before him, my great-grandfather wore the same design. When my dad got his version years ago, it was to honor them both. 3 generations, 1 image. When my grandfather passed, I knew what I had to do. I found a shop in my area with good reviews and decent portfolio work. Nothing fancy, but clean and professional. I walked in on a Tuesday afternoon with a printed photo of my dad's arm. The design was simple. Bold lines, classic imagery, the kind of tattoo that doesn't need explanation. I didn't want an interpretation. I didn't want their artistic touch. I wanted it to look exactly like the photo. Exactly. The guy at the desk called over my artist. Her name was Alice Trevor, mid-30s, sleeves on both arms, friendly enough. I sat down in her chair and slid the photo across the table. I need this, I said. Same size, same placement, same everything. She picked up the photo and studied it for a moment, nodding slowly. Yeah, I can do that. Traditional style, right? Clean work. Right, but I need it to match. This is a family thing. Totally understand, she said, smiling. I'll take care of you. I paid the deposit. We scheduled for that Saturday. When the day came, I showed up early. Alice had the stencil ready, and when she pressed it onto my forearm, I checked it against the photo 3 times. It looked perfect. She fired up the machine, and we got started. The session took about 2 hours. She worked carefully, adjusting her hand every few minutes, wiping away excess ink. I watched as much as I could without moving. By the end, I was exhausted, but the second she held up the mirror, I felt everything else fade. It looked incredible. The lines were sharp, the shading matched my dad's. Even the small details I'd been worried about, the way the image curved slightly near the wrist, were perfect. I thanked her, tipped well, and left the shop feeling like I'd done something right, something that mattered. I took care of it exactly how she told me. Washed it gently, moisturized it, kept it out of the sun. By the 3rd week, it was healed and settling beautifully into my skin. I couldn't stop looking at it. That's when I went to visit my great-grandmother. She's 92 and still sharp as ever. She'd known my great-grandfather better than anyone, and I wanted her to see that the tradition was continuing. I walked into her living room that afternoon and rolled up my sleeve before I even sat down. Grandma, look! Her face lit up immediately. She reached for my arm with both hands, pulling it closer, her eyes scanning every line. For a moment, she didn't say anything. Then she smiled. Oh, sweetheart, it's beautiful. I felt my chest swell. Then she tilted her head. Who's AJ? I blinked. What? She traced her finger along a section near the top of the design, where 2 curved lines intersected with part of the shading. Right here, see? A and J. Or maybe a T. Hard to say. I leaned in, and there they were. Hidden in the curves of the design, worked subtly into the line work, were 2 letters. Clear as day once you saw them. A and J, or A and T, depending on how you looked at it. Alice Trevor. My stomach dropped. I didn't ask for that, I said quietly. My great-grandmother patted my hand. Well, if you didn't notice it until now, maybe it's not such a big deal. But it was. I left her house and went straight to my car. I pulled up the shop's Instagram, found Alice's contact info, and sent a message. You put your initials in my tattoo. I didn't ask for that. I specifically told you I wanted it to match the photo exactly. Why would you do that? She replied within an hour. Hey, yeah, so that's pretty standard for traditional style tattoos. Most artists sign their work like that. It's kind of a thing in the community. Didn't think it'd be an issue since it's subtle. I read it twice. I told you exactly what I wanted. You changed it without asking me. I want a partial refund. I can't do that. The work is done, and it's solid work. This is normal practice. Normal practice. I called the shop. The guy who answered wasn't Alice. He sounded younger, maybe the same one from the front desk. I explained the situation as calmly as I could, though my voice was shaking by the end. I paid for a specific tattoo. She altered it. I didn't consent to that. He put me on hold. 2 minutes later, a different voice came on. Older, tired. This is the owner. What's going on? I explained again. There was a long pause. Let me talk to Alice. He called me back 30 minutes later and told me I'd be getting a full refund. He apologized, said it shouldn't have happened, said he'd handle it internally. I felt vindicated. Until 2 days later, when my sister sent me a screenshot. Alice had posted on her Instagram story a long, winding paragraph about clients who don't understand tattoo culture and people who demand refunds over non-issues. She didn't name me, but she didn't have to. She tagged the shop. She tagged the city. She mentioned family tattoos specifically. By the next morning, her comments were full of people taking sides. Some supported her. Others called her unprofessional. She posted again, saying she was considering switching